Donald Trump confirms Putin is flying into U.S. soil for Showdown meeting. And again, that is this Friday in Alaska. Let me read this to you, and then we're going to go to the video, okay? So this says page 9, but I don't see it on page 9. Let me see this here. Boom, 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 boom. Donald Trump confirms. Rob, and here it says...
Try page 5, Pat.
No, on here on the notes it says page 9. Oh, it's not 5. Rob, do you know what page that's on?
Page 4. Donald Trump confirms Putin is flying to U.S. soil for Showdown meeting.
Okay, do you see it where it says 9? Look at the notes at the top. It says 9. I don't know if you see that or not, but I'll just read it. President Trump announced on Truth Social that he'll meet Russian President Vladimir Putin on the 15th in Alaska, stating the highly anticipated meeting between myself and as the President of the United States and Vladimir Putin of Russia will take place next Friday, August 15th, in the great state of Alaska. Trump told reporters the war between Ukraine and Russia lasting 3.5 years is complicated. Rob, if this is the clip, go ahead and play this clip.
Does Putin have to meet with Zelensky in order and before you and Putin have to meet? Or are you
No.
Are you
So you're willing to, that's actually important because President Putin said this morning he was pretty dismissive of this idea of meeting with President
Who was?
Zelensky. President Putin was.
I don't know. I didn't hear
For you
him.
to meet with him, he doesn't have to agree to meet with Zelensky. Is that what you're saying?
No, he doesn't. No.
So when do you think that meeting?
They would like to meet with me, and I'll do whatever I can to stop the killing. So last month, they lost 14,000 people killed last month. Every week is 4,000 or 5,000 people. So I don't like long waits. I think it's a shame. And they're mostly soldiers. They're Ukrainian and Russian soldiers, and some people from the cities where, missiles are lobbed in and you'll lose 35, 40 people a night, which is terrible. But no, mostly it's soldiers, and you're talking about, on average, 20,000 a month. 20,000 people are dying a month. Generally young people, soldiers.
Okay, so this was supposed to be the president of war. So this sounds like the president of peace, but they invited Zelensky, okay, just to kind of give you a little bit more context. They're thinking about inviting Zelensky to the summit, okay? It's being discussed, and another saying it's absolutely possible, adding everyone is very hopeful that would happen, a senior White House official clarified. The president remains open to a trilateral summit with both leaders. Right now, the White House is focusing on planning the bilateral meeting requested by Putin without Zelensky being there. And at the same time, Xi says to, is this the clip of him, by the way?
Yes, the translation's just a little off. We used AI to translate it, but this is Zelensky saying that Ukraine would not surrender territory.
That's
to
what's
Russia.
important. So if you want to play this clip, Rob, because this the part that matters. Go ahead.
The Ukrainian territorial issue is already in the constitution of Ukraine. Nobody will be able to deviate from this. Ukrainians will not give their land to the occupant. Ukraine is ready for real decisions that can give peace. Budi Karishny, who are against us. Buda Karishny, who without Ukraine, they are once against us. Oh, one give nothing, it's dead Rishnin. They will never work, and we all need a real living peace here, which people will respect.
Okay, so when you hear that, then you hear the response, Putin reportedly willing to end the war if he gets eastern Ukraine. And Zelensky flat out telling you, I'm not interested. Here's Putin.
In our conditions, to start such a conversation simple and come down to the following. Ukrainian troops must be completely withdrawn from Donetsk, Lugansk People's Republics, Kherson and Zaporizhzhia regions. And I draw attention precisely from the entire territory of these regions, the limits of their administrative borders, which existed at the time of their driving in Ukraine. As soon as in Kyiv they declare that she is ready for such, the resolution will begin the real conclusions of the troops from these regions, as well as officially notified of the rejection of plans to enter in NATO on our part immediately, literally in the same a minute will follow the order to cease the fire and begin the negotiation. I repeat, we will do it immediately. Naturally, at the same time, we guarantee an irresistible and safe discharge of Ukrainian units and formations. Of course, we would like to count on what a decision is, and about the withdrawal of troops and about outside the bloc status. And he began dialogue with Russia from which to declare from the future existence of Ukraine and Kyiv will be accepted.
You can pause it right there. Okay, so Tom, what do you think is going to happen here on Friday? You think Zelensky's going to show up? You think he's not going to show up? You think Zelensky is going to eventually give Eastern Ukraine? What do you think is going to end up happening?
I think Zelensky has to show up, and he's playing a little bit of a game now. But the advisors and people that are around Zelensky are like, hey, this is serious. You need to go to this, and you need to go to the table. And what Russia is asking for is, is basically the Russian-speaking region of Ukraine that long ago was part of Russia. Now you can make your own conclusion about where you say, well, you don't bully yourself back into it, but also there was, it was triggered because of the threat to enter NATO after being told they weren't. So I think Zelensky, for all the reasons, for the NATO reason, for the territory reason, and for the war reason, he can't not show up. I think if he doesn't show up, it's just like a really bad look. So you want to continue this war? You're not going to show up? You're trying to have a peace? And the peace treaties like this is how they happen, on neutral soil with a intermediary.
Can you do this, Tom? Can I ask you a question? So argue it. Let's play a game, okay? Argue it from Zelensky's standpoint. This goes to everybody. Argue it from Zelensky's standpoint of, what do you mean give up Eastern Ukraine? I don't have to show up. If you guys want to do this without me, you can't negotiate. Argue it from his standpoint.
If I'm going to show up and all you're going to tell me is I got to get back Donbass and all that historical part of Ukraine that speaks Russian, I didn't draw the line. The line was drawn by the international community decades ago. And then you bullied your way across the line. You can tell me that you thought we were going to join NATO and it pissed you off, but you bullied yourself across the line. And, the U.S., Biden basically winked at you and said if it was a small incursion,
I was just going to say
he wouldn't go after you. So the U.S. kind of winked. President Biden kind of winked and got this thing started. And now you want me to come sit in front of a U.S. president with Putin, and Putin saying he wants land given back? You want me to go sit for that?
And that was great. Would you add anything to the Ukraine-Zelensky argument?
No, because he made a great point. That's one of the main ones. I would have said, listen, the previous president said it's okay if Russia comes in and does a small attack, a small incursion.
So now flip it.
So you guys asked it.
So now flip it, Vinny, to you. Be Putin. Give Putin's argument, Ted. Listen, I'm willing to come and, do you want him there? Do you not want him there? Play Putin.
I want him there because at the end of the day, I told all of you, what was it? 1 inch of NATO. I don't want any expansion. Biden, the previous president, told us that we could come in and told us that we could attack. You guys gave us the green light, so we're doing it. Time and time again, this guy is showing that he has zero respect. Okay, he comes into the White House. He disrespects all of you. I want peace. I was told you guys not to push. You guys push. I'm just sticking up for my people. That's it.
Adam, where are you at?
So playing Putin and playing Zelensky, every war in the world comes down to two things. Whose land is it? And what is the identity of the people that want the land? So if you're Russia, the land that you're fighting for, you believe is Russian land and Russian identity. What if I'm Putin? There's a couple of things that I'm majorly concerned about. Number one, and first and foremost, is NATO encroaching east and east and east and east. They want niet of this.
Niet means
they also want sanctions removed. Don't forget about it. Economic sanctions are a major part of this. Selling their Russian oil, everything that's going on around the world.
After
oligarchs.
they fix the pipelines.
That's true. The Nord Stream 2. And then obviously territory. As far as Zelensky goes, he wants first and foremost a cessation of aggression. Stop bombing our land. Stop trying to take our land. We'll debate whose land that is. He also wants security guarantees. So when this war eventually does stop, Putin stops attacking. You talked about NATO and GDP. It's always been 2%. There's countries like Poland and other countries that are closer to the border who are saying, no. We're going to give 4. We're going to give 5% in many cases. Putin is the bully here, let's be clear. And Zelensky, as weak as he seems, his major message is leave us alone. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, so essentially, if I'm Putin, they're talking about, do you think Trump would want Putin and Zelensky in the same room? Or do you think Trump would want just an isolated bilateral meeting with Putin and then an isolated bilateral meeting with Zelensky?
I think at this point, let's take what we can get. I think the world in the reality TV show that we're all living in would love to see Trump in the middle. I totally
get what you're saying.
And Putin and Zelensky there.
No, that's not what I asked. Let's take what we can get. I get. what would Trump prefer? Would he prefer both in the room?
Yes.
Or
Yes.
does he not want Zelensky to
Both.
disrupt a meeting so he can just have a meeting with
Well,
Putin?
think about it.
Both.
If you're doing a negotiation, if Vinny and I were fighting, which we always do,
I love you.
would you want to have a conversation with Vinny first? Would you rather have a conversation with Adam first? Or would you want us both there? I don't know the right or wrong reasons. You've dealt with many of these things.
If I let's just say let's go a little bit deeper there. Let's just say the last time I tried to have a meeting with you publicly, you took advantage of the limelight and the camera and you embarrassed me and my company. That's what you did last time. In front of my entire company, you embarrassed me, right? Let's just say that was the case. Does Trump still want both people to be there? Does Trump just want Putin to be there? You know what I'm asking?
More than likely, he wants Putin there for sure.
He wants
No,
If
Putin there.
Zelensky, if Zelensky's there, a little bonus, but he wants a
I think
one-on-one
where
with
Trump
Putin.
is, especially after all that, I would want them. Obviously, they're going to have their handlers or whatever, and their people, their security, and just be like, "Hey, listen, guys, enough is enough. You're doing what you're doing. We know with his attitude, especially, and we know where you're at. Well, let's just end it. Just stop it." And then the negotiation, he has to have him in there. But seeing his attitude, going back to your initial question, Pat, I don't think he's going to show up. I don't think. Did you see Zelensky's interview there?
You
I
don't think Putin's going to
No,
show up?
Zelensky.
Tom,
I have
what
a
do you
feeling
think?
Zelensky's not going to show up.
If I'm Trump, I want them both in the room. But there's back channeling going on. Look at Witkoff. The White House
Steve
announced.
Witkoff, yeah.
The White House announced that last Thursday, Friday, I believe, Witkoff had highly productive meetings with Putin that they said sealed the deal for him to come over here and to be part of a summit. And so the back channel is working. And if we don't think that there's also a back channel to Zelensky right now, it's got to be. It's like, hey, man, you're going to look terrible, and this is going to be a charade. But if I'm Trump, I want them both in the room, but I want to make sure I'm back channeling some rules of engagement.
What do you think, Pat?
Okay.
If they were negotiating this deal, how would you want to see this play
so
out?
let's go through one by one. If I'm Trump, I want everybody in the room. If I'm Zelensky, I want to be in the room because I know I can get under the skin of both of them if I'm Zelensky. Zelensky, that is that guy that is going to take advantage of this opportunity to make himself look good and try to embarrass both of them. And he knows how to get under Putin's skin. And by getting under Putin's skin and disrupting the meeting, he's indirectly going under Trump's skin, okay? And then Trump, behind closed doors, just did a minerals deal with Zelensky, which means if that got done, he almost has to, in that minerals deal, I'm assuming there was some kind of an exchange that you can't increase tariffs on us for the next 5 years or 3 years. And I don't know the details of it, but whatever the minerals deal was, Ukraine would be dummies to negotiate a minerals deal without a guaranteed you not increasing tariffs on me for at least 5 years. And the reason why I would negotiate 5 years is because I would want the tariffs deal to be after Trump is out, because I don't want somebody like Trump to be in president so he can increase it. So in this place, believe it or not, Zelensky has a little bit of control because if he got that insurance, if he didn't, he's an idiot if they didn't.
Sure.
But so then you go to Russia, to Putin, he's the only one that I think just wants it to be him and Trump. I think Putin's the only one that doesn't want Zelensky to be there at all whatsoever because he doesn't trust him. He doesn't trust him at all. He doesn't trust the fact that he's going to be behaving. And in a strange, unique way, Zelensky here is the linchpin because he's the most unpredictable. You know what Trump's going to do. You know what Putin's going to do. You don't know what Zelensky's going to do. So he's the disruptor in this instance, in my opinion. And who's asking? Who has to give? Putin's asking. Zelensky has to give. He doesn't have to give. But in this case, you know, I don't know. Those are the dynamics where I see. Now, if there's anybody that can broker a deal, Trump has to have some kind of a leverage behind closed doors that it could be as simple as allowing Putin to join NATO. If he allows Putin to join NATO, guess who doesn't want that? Ukraine doesn't want that. Zelensky doesn't want that. NATO doesn't want that. So imagine if he's coming out there playing aggressive saying, no, I know Bill Clinton or Bush, those guys said no to Putin about joining NATO. I'm actually going to have him on NATO. So I think there's an element of knowing Trump's capable of doing anything, but he's going to have to poke in the NATO way. I don't think he can
I give
poke
you one
with
more
the tariff
piece
way.
of the puzzle?
Yeah, absolutely.
So one thing that we got to think about, you know, you're always talking about who's in your ear, who's in your ear.
Yeah.
Well, in a meeting like this, it's almost who's in your corner. So in Zelensky's corner, you have the EU, you have NATO, you have Poland, you sort of have the Eastern European states, you have the United States to a capacity, Western allies, Canada, and then who's in Russia's ear? Well, you have China, you have Iran, or what's left of what's going on in Iran. You have North Korea, you have Belarus, which is the only country in that region that is sort of full support of Russia. So they're going to play a role in basically negotiations. Who these people in Putin's ear and in Zelensky's ear. And Zelensky, who's more of a puppet? Zelensky or Putin?
Zelensky.
You know, everyone's Trump is Putin's puppet. I think nobody believes that at this
Zelensky's a
point.
puppet to who, though?
Zelensky is a puppet to the world and the Western allies of the
That's
world.
just so you know, in this instance, he's a puppet to nobody. In this situation, he's not a puppet to anybody.
Why do you say that?
He's not a puppet to Trump, or he's not a puppet to Putin.
Well, he's a puppet to his financial backers.
No, he's a puppet to the establishment.
Sure.
And under Biden, yes, because they kept giving him stuff.
Mm-hmm.
In this instance, this is a very different scenario. Very different scenario.
So Pat, the Warhawks, Pat, the Lindsey Grahams, the Mitch McConnells, what were the contractors, the weapons and all the defense contractors, they're all, you were talking about back channeling. How many people are in his ear, Pat, on the behind the scenes going, hey, you still want these billions? Don't you freak? Because the goal is to what? Not have any, don't give in.
Those people don't have control right now.
No control. What I'm saying is, can they be in his ear?
They're
like
gonna
when
be,
Lindsey
so
Graham
here's what is the likelihood he's speaking to the establishment in the U.S. government right now?
Pretty high, I think.
Yeah.
I think
100%.
pretty high.
And
Okay,
I think the
I'm
key
with
there
you.
is Starmer, because remember, Starmer cut
Keir
the deal
Starmer.
that for every UK pound of aid, there was like another pound of debt. Remember, it was
Yeah.
actually
Yes,
debt.
yes.
And that's what the criticism came from. It. You're not giving them aid. You're permanently indebting Ukraine to you when you're taking advantage of it because they're upset at the USA. I think there's a lot of people in the back there right now.
The Gentleman's Series, VT merch. Let me tell you, the ties that you ask for, black ties. This is 100% silk with the Valuetainment logo, is on it with the pocket square tie. We have them in black and blue, absolutely sharp, incredible quality. It's not the thin, shiny quality. It's great quality. The ties that are here. And the other one is, this is limited edition, 100% leather, Valuetainment bag that's out here, leather shoulder tote bag. That's here. Feel the quality on how the leather feels, by the way.
I feel like Vanna White right here.
Yeah.
This feels great.
And by the way, the VT logo
Love
is
the logo.
there. And
Adam
then
knows
when you-
about leather.
And then when you open it up, inside of it, you will see Future Looks Bright right here. Sick, absolutely sick. And by the way, the other day, Michael Beasley was doing a podcast. We're now seeing people actually wearing a Future Looks Bright hat all over the place. Michael Beasley's doing a podcast.
NBA player, number 2
NBA
pick of the
players
draft
are- yeah.
many years ago by the Miami Heat.
I can't
Michael
wait
Beasley,
to
respect
see
to you. Future
millions
does
on
look
top
bright.
of millions. I get so many people on X who are posting pictures while they watch this podcast, and they'll tell me how they're watching the podcast, but they'll say, man, look at my Future Looks Bright hat. Look at my Future Looks Bright gear. Love seeing the support. More importantly, we need to convert more people that are coming here. We were just in LA this last weekend for, that show that happens. We won't post any of the pictures. You know the guy that sits in the middle
Jubilee?
and 20 people
Jubilee.
grill you? I
Yeah.
was in the middle with 20
That was
anti-capitalists.
awesome, Pat.
It was epic. It was fire, and it'll be released in the next 4 to 6 weeks. Cannot wait to have you guys see it. But the whole premise is we need more people thinking the future looks bright instead of being victims. And, it's not fair. I'm not happy about what's going to happen. I'm so scared about the future. So if you support that as well, go to vtmerch.com, place your order. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.